stayed with different people each time we moved around from host to host. And so I stayed with lots of you all. And I did the program the way I was supposed to. But because they were the ones that were really going to be on the field, really tested more than I was going to be tested for conditioning, I did whatever they were going to do. I was amazed at the different ways they approached their morning. You get up in the morning and go out in the fog and do something. And I was amazed at the different ways that they did their training. And it all worked. I was never ahead.
Well, you had to carry that heavy whistle around.
It was eating all those apples in that orchard.
The first place I stayed was with Janice, and we're dead tired. And we get there, and first thing we're sent to a room and given a couple minutes to get ready for dinner. She's on the floor doing push-ups. Something happened to her.
Something happened to me.
Well,
And she's still doing it in the morning.
I never.
The last reunion, she had us on the beach doing Pilates.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I don't remember who fell in the hole, but.
You know, the other thing I think we need to really address here, though, is that there is a chemistry within the team, and nobody planned the chemistry for this team, but we have just really blended before the tour, on the tour, and ever since. I mean, we never want this to stop happening. I mean, and to my knowledge, no other team can even come close to kind of putting together what kind of after-touring events that we do. And it's just because we love each other. This is who we are and who we'll ever be.
And it had to have been some luck. I mean, because nobody knew. Well, some of us knew each other, but you know, on any team, when you pick, you're picking for skill, but you don't know what their personalities really are, and you just don't know how they're going to blend. But luckily, you know, just everything. There wasn't one person that didn't fit in, one person that didn't like the other, one person that didn't support another person. It was just everything. And it had a lot, again, to do with leadership, because your leaders set the tone and whatever, so that it can make a huge difference depending on who's taking command. But you also have to have the little player pieces too, and I just think everybody, it just was lucky. I think the stars
But I think
were,
some of it was also was able to be manufactured, even if maybe Kathy knew that she was manufacturing it, but even if we didn't realize what it was. Because if you think about spending 5 weeks in a place that is unfamiliar to you, and every few days you are going off to a different host, sleeping in a different bed, probably with a different member of the team, and that could have been disastrous. That could have had little clicks here and a click there, and I don't want to be with Mike or whatever, and that kind of thing. But what happened was, I think, that because we had to make those adaptations, we really relied on them. You know, when we're talking about some of the stuff that we're eating, we really need some peanut butter and jelly. Janet, let's go get some peanut butter and jelly. You know, those things wound up bonding you to different people on the team, and we've done that in a different way. We'd all been together in the practices in the summer, so depending on each other,
that week at Maristed, getting to really know each other. And another thing, I think Sally made a good point, but I'd like to just go back to that. The development of the U.S. squad was really important because I happened to coach the squad prior to this 75, and that was a way for me to get to know. I mean, I knew these people better than they thought I knew them. You know, I mean, I knew who could do. I had seen them in practice. I was able to fit the pieces together. Oh, and that had developed over a period of really 2 years prior to going, 2 or 3 years, so that it wasn't like suddenly there were these people and okay, they've got to be a team. I knew, and I mean, for instance, and like Sandy and Connie, I had coached at Wilson College, and other people in Central Penn that I got to know. There were a lot of people. Half the team I knew before they ever became part of the U.S. system, you know, and that was an enormous plus.
And when you said earlier that everyone has a little bit out of the mold,
yeah,
and they each bring something unique, what would you say that each of these women bring?
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
I don't know. We kind of say what goes on tour stays on tour.
Oh, here's Lee.
Here's Lee.
Oh, yeah.